Marara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Namaste and 19 hours 20 in Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Glenn Lal Show on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and the 99.5 FM. My name is Joshua Van Sleckman. Of course, I'm your moderator this evening and I'm very eager to hand you over to the man of the moment, Mr. Glenn Lal, who's been behaving himself very good. I'm proud to report that this evening. He's been a very good person, I'll say, this evening. So I'll hand you over to him and of course he'll make his presentation, and then when we come back we'll take your questions and of course take your calls. Let me just encourage you 226-7453, 226-7454, 622-2222. Those are the numbers you can connect with us this evening on the Glenn Lal Show. Mr. Lal, good evening to you and over to you.
Namaste to you. I only hope you were talking to me and the studio, Miss Harris and Raj.
Of course.
Because I know I'm speaking only to you guys here tonight. Before I tell you my program tonight, I just want to let you know, Josh, our Haitian brothers and sisters are in dire need of help.
Indeed.
2 earthquakes shattered the country within the last 6 days and killed in excess of 2,000 people, displaced hundreds of thousands from their homes. Many of their homes just vanished. Buildings collapsed, leaving them nowhere but on the streets, sheltering under tarpaulins. Matter of fact, they're sleeping on the tarpaulins. I asked that whenever the relief drive starts, we all can pitch in to help, whatever we can. I know it's COVID. I know we are living in a time where the economies of the world is dwindling, money isn't flowing, work isn't anywhere. But we can help them. They're in dire need. Their hospitals are overwhelmed with the injured and survivors. You know, they're treating people in the streets now. It's sad. It's sad, so sad. They're now treating even to the minor injuries on all the roadside. So, Josh, could you please call on your leaders to begin a fundraising campaign to help them?
Yeah.
I have done many relief help before. I have done quite a few. And they put laws in place to avoid any civilian from holding fundraising to help people. So I recall the last one I was going to do was like 11 years ago when Haiti had that massive earthquake. 250,000 people died in that earthquake and millions were displaced. And when I asked for permission to help them, the government didn't grant that permission. So I hope the government start one. I can help them, you know, so we can help them to remove from those makeshift tarpaulin tents and camps.
Yes.
So Josh, Ms. Harris, please call in the leaders and let's get going. I am the first one to pitch in with some cash. Natural disaster of any kind makes you feel very sad. Not true, Josh?
Yes.
But when you see mankind's disaster, it's get even more sad. Ms. Harris, I want to share this story with you guys. Just you, Josh and Raj. Congo. You know that country?
Yep.
The Democratic Republic of Congo?
Yes.
Yeah. Was one of the richest country in Africa. Full with gold, diamond, ore, and all other rich minerals. They have something called cobalt, C-O-B-A-L-T, nearly fetching the price of gold.
Wow.
It's in demand right now. Today, Congo is rated the poorest country on earth. The Chinese have been there and is still there fetching out the people's resources, paying the citizens of Congo less than $2 per day for a 12-hour work.
Wow.
CNN, Ms. Harris, did an undercover investigation as to what is going on in the Democratic Republic of Congo. You know what I found? Thousands upon thousands of children between the ages of 4 years old
My God.
to 11 years old working a 12-hour shift.
Wow.
CNN did the investigation.
Wow. 4
Mhm.
years old.
Just like the adults, they're working. No different, 12 hours they're working. But when you look at the video, how these children, the CNN video, how these children goes into the mining pit. Sometimes it's 20 to 50 feet down, fetching up bags of raw material to be processed, to take out the gold and the ore. And the other minerals for the Chinese, man, it's 6 years old to watch the video. CNN concluded it is modern day slavery and colonization all over again in this 21st century. You hear me, Josh?
Yes.
CNN said Congo has a vast amount of cobalt. You know what is cobalt, Josh?
No.
Right. Cobalt is a critical ingredient they make smartphone batteries with. You know your iPhone and them fancy Panasonic phone? Yes, that's what they make the batteries with. And it is also used in other electronic devices, computer boards and stuff like that. The people say this product is fast becoming more expensive than gold in the world today.
Wow.
That's how much that product is in demand, because the price keep raising. It's rare. I think Guyana have. I think. I have to do some research. They said little children are the heart of the production process. Rain or no rain, good or bad weather, they work to enrich the Chinese corporations with millions of US dollars. And guess what? They are being paid 12 cents per day to dig and fetch through the tunnels without any support. And the people said often there are collapses. And you guys know when a mine collapses, what happened to whoever is inside there. I don't have to explain that. CNN said they visited 5 mines and found children as young as 4 years old working in the mine pits without any safety whatsoever. CNN said the children can hardly walk and loses their childhood working for the Chinese in Congo. And they said the children's production is being sold cheaper than the adults. You know why? The Chinese, when they see children, they think they don't know money, so they offer them anything.
Yeah.
And the children, poor children, them accept it.
Yeah.
They ended, the conclude of the investigation. Listen carefully what these people said. The report said it's not Glenn. Chinese in Congo resell the product back to the parent company in China, making smartphones, which none of these children will ever be able to buy one, to own one. All the children does is just working to survive day after day. What a world we live in, Josh. What a world we live in. You taking note, Josh?
Yeah.
You better take note. Better take note. Can you just play that video for me?
Yes.
I want them to listen to that video.
Those of you
for
joining us,
themselves.
those of you joining us on social media, YouTube and Facebook, the link will be posted, and of course you can click on that link and have a view of that video while we play it for listeners on air. Thank you.
This is one of the thousands of unregulated, unmonitored mines in the DRC. It's crawling with children working like modern day.
Josh and Aris, I shared that video with you guys for you to see for yourself what the Chinese are doing around the world. They have a company here named Zenjin who bought over Aurora gold mines. They are also in Congo. They're there. They have a team there and working alongside the rest of Chinese. Chinese has been here a long time now. Bai Shenlin has been here almost 15 years. And they are still here hiding under different names. Remember, they used to fetch out our most expensive Wamara wood by the boatloads. Do you remember that, Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they're still doing it. I got to find out a little more on it. I was told that our gold is being hidden in those lumber before shipped out. So they were here taking timber, doing gold silent, don't declare anything, fix it in the lumber and shipping out the lumber. Josh? They were chopping and clearing everything in the pathway. I chartered helicopters more than once to see what was going on in the interior. Mm-hmm. As we flew over the Kakwani neighborhood, you see swaths of land by the miles, cleaner than a football ground. Football ground got grass, but the land we saw did not have any grass growing on it. Yeah, man, our forest, it had no grass growing on it. Man, you gotta see how they were chopping and piling up our expensive lumber. Huge piles. I flew into Bokhal and some other places. You got to see what was going on there too. If Mr. Granger didn't stop them by now, many parts of Guyana would have been looking like Saudi Arabia, flat like the desert. They were fetching every single thing away. And what was Guyana getting, Josh?
Nothing.
A few of our brothers used to drive their trucks and help them in the forest, only for a few years. After the people settling, after the Chinese settling, they brought in their own Chinese and kick out. Yes, throw out our brothers who used to work with them. You know what you call that, Josh? Paying foreigners to come here and rob you every piece of your wealth. Man, I think had we allowed that to go on, the way how they were eating up our forest, by now Guyanese would have been building homes with mud or grass because they would have left nothing in for us. We carry those stories, you know, Josh.
Yeah.
If you just Google them, we have pictures and videos online. You guys can go and see that those stories were carried many years ago, maybe 8-10 years ago. Yeah. They are in your gold fields too. All over. Just like the Americans. Just like the Australians. The Canadians, the Indians, they are all here to clean you up, Josh. By the time these people done with Guyana, some of you may not even see a smartphone, much as to own one, like them children in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Monday night, Josh, I said the Chinese company, a new branch of Bosai in Matthews Ridge, pretended that they came here for manganese, another expensive mineral, and they promised to hire 500 Guyanese. Instead, they brought in over 200 Guyanese and hire about 20 locals, paying them next to nothing, fetching out with manganese, lithium, uranium, gold, and diamond. And what are we getting as a nation from those exploiters? Yes, they're giving a couple loaf of bread. That's what they're giving. 2 loaf of bread for 3 meals. And you're getting $1,000 for a 1,200 loaf bread. That is what we brothers and sisters settling for in Matthews Ridge right now. That is what our leaders settling for by granting these people permits and concessions with your vast riches, Josh. Your wealth, Josh. I am not upset with you tonight, Josh. Miss Harris, I am not upset, I can only smile when I hear President Ali ready to share out more crumbs to y'all. And you guys settling for it with a huge smile on your faces. Standing up in long, long lines to collect a one-time $25,000 and a $19,000 to help your children buy school clothes. Josh, I now hear how they plan to help old people with another $25,000.
Yep.
You could smile for that. You got old people around you. Yesterday I saw President Ali made another announcement. He ready to pay a 1 month light bill for anybody who born less than 75 kilowatt hour. Josh, I'm certain you don't know what is 75 kilowatt, what it means. And the cost behind it. You don't know, right? Yes. It's less than 3,000. That is what gonna help all you. That is what he gonna help all you with. Josh, when you really think about it, when you really put 2 and 2 together and understand how rich this country is, I can only smile for you, Josh. I wouldn't call that a handout or crumbs. That for me is more than an insult to a pig. Yeah, man. Wait, man. That is what you worth, Josh? A one-time $25,000? Man, I know things bad. But please, Josh, you got to speak up and demand your rightful share of your rightful wealth, buddy.
Yep.
Our leaders can do 1 million times better than that. 1 month, $3,000 light bill money. Man, you want me to smile or you want me to laugh?
Cry.
You know what I tell me, Josh? That half of the population is below the poverty line with so much resources we have. Sometimes I ask myself, what's going on? Sometimes I pinch myself, Josh, to make sure I am not dreaming and that I am alive and awake as to what I am seeing. Many days in our editorial meetings, Josh, I tell the staff, sometimes you just be in it, that I don't think this country is real. I don't think we have real people in this country. Not for what goes on in this land and how people react to the various and different issues. I think it's a dream I am having. Miss Harris, you know what is $3,000 light bill per month? That house barely got 2 light bulbs and a fan in it. Those people can't have a small fridge, a microwave or an AC unit. That got to be luxury for you.
Yep.
Because $3,000, like I said, is only 2 light bulbs and a fan. I think if you put on your radio for listening to the Glenn Lyle show, they will knock you out.
Yep.
Yeah, man. You got chance to get the 1 month light bill. Josh, that is the quality of life. People living in this oil producing country. This gold, diamond, timber, bauxite, manganese, lithium, uranium producing country. Not forgetting the oil, Josh. The oil, what the world saying how rich Guyana is. The government paying a 1 month $3,000 light bill for its people. And that is only if you don't go beyond that, you know, Josh. Like I said, if you listen to the radio, me program Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or every day 11 o'clock, then you're not fit into that. So you guys better stop looking at the program if you are listening to it. Ashley Singh. Wow. Ashley Singh should be shamed to talk about this handout, this crumbs, this $25,000. Ashley Singh could hold a press conference and talk to the nation with the entire press. He went and sit down with critic and talk about how the government is so good and so kind that they coming out giving the people $25,000 and a 1 month light bill. Oh gosh. Josh, don't monitor your wealth. Don't monitor your wealth. These foreigners, with these foreigners, don't speak up, don't stand up. You will forever be stretching your hands for handout, for that one-time 3 month, $3,000 light bill, and that $25,000 yearly. I'm done for tonight. I'm done. I'm done on that topic, man. Let me go on another topic. All right?
Yes.
Let me now turn to the main topic of tonight's show. I hold back this specially for you. Listen carefully. You understand this information? You may want to grab a pen, Josh. You got a pen and a piece of paper to take some notes, or just listen to me carefully. It's about what is in store for you and Miss Harris and Raj and Sean. I see Sean just walking. It has nothing to do with our leaders. It has to do with our misleaders. They missed the boat. They exit on ship by millions of miles with what's going on. What's going on here, Josh, is fiction. This can't be real with real leaders. This got to be fiction, what I'm about to tell you. We carry a story today, in today's Kaieteur News, which says Guyana will owe Exxon more money than what it receives every year due to added ongoing costs Exxon throwing on Guyana every single day, searching for oil and other developmental costs. You hear me? Let me repeat the piece so you sink in your head. You hear me, bro?
Yeah.
I got to repeat the piece. We carry a story today in which Guyana will owe ExxonMobil more money than what we get every year due to added costs Exxon throwing on Guyana every single day for searching for oil and other developmental costs. And this is not Glenn Lal repeating it. This is the oil experts. Them report said so, not Glenn Lal. It means in a nutshell, Josh, if we don't stop ExxonMobil with all the billions them throwing at us searching for oil now, by the time the oil is finished in 30 years, Guyana will owe the oil companies in the billions of US dollars. Money which you, your children, and grandchildren will have to pay. It may sound like a Nancy story, but many countries is facing this situation presently. Angola is one of them. Egypt is another one. And we neighbor, Trinidad and Tobago, after 100 years in the oil and gas sector, a day like today, them in $22 billion debt. Not TT dollars, American dollars I'm talking about. Just Google these things, man. It's there for you and Miss Harris. And now I see another gentleman walk in the studio. Please Google it for me, sir. It's there. Let me explain how Exxon playing this game with Guyana, and our leaders sign on to that. I want to use, Josh, a very simple example so you can follow me very easily. Listen to me carefully. You have a big fish pond with 10 sections, which you're not certain if any one of them got fish inside. Just like the Exxon Stabroek block got 10 sections, 10 field. Would any one of you sign a contract with a fisherman to pay him to search for fish in the ponds? Would you do that?
No.
Hell no. Well, that is what Guyana did with our oil deal. And we already got bills in the billions of US dollars for Exxon when they were searching for oil. Now we are continuing to pay them every year in the billions for still search for oil, more oil. You hear that?
Billions.
Whether they find oil or don't find oil, you still have to pay Exxon whatever bill them throw at you. You hear me? Am I clear there?
Yeah.
Good, very clear. So the fisherman find fish in the first section of the pond, set up his operation with his boat and his team, he cast net, and then he give you a bill for $3.5 million. And they start catching fish. Just like our Exxon start up with Liza1. And them done hand me a bill for $3.5 billion. You understand? You draw the nexus?
Yes.
I am making it very simple. Josh, the fisherman giving you every year can't pay the bills he handing you. On top of that, all the other money they're spending to search for fish in the second pond coming to you in Liza1 and being paid out of Liza1 fish. You understand? The money they spend on the next pond, they bring over the money in the first pond for catching fish, and they have to get paid up front for that. You following me, right?
Yeah.
What they spend in Liza2 in the second pond, that money is already coming out from the first fish pond. That is the kind of deal we find ourselves in. Them continue to search for oil all over the place, and while they're setting up the second fish pond now, Josh, all those bills going to the first one to be paid on time. Them get first preference to take out them money when they sell the oil. I mean the fish, really, you know. And then the profit, the profit is shared. And this goes on year after year after year. Whatever bill you couldn't pay, Josh, in the first year, it rolls over to the second year. And when the fish is done in the first pond, whatever bill is left there is being thrown over to the second pan, the number 2 pan, and that cycles continue. As fish pan number 2 begins fishing, Josh, they continue searching for oil and busy setting up pan number 3. And all the bills for that is thrown into pan number 2 to be paid year after year after year. So you're back to square one with your profits, because bills keep adding more than what you're earning every year. At the end of pan 2, when the fish is done there, meaning when the oil is done there, whatever bill is left over is again thrown over into pan number 3, and again the cycle continues. The cost for setting up pan number 4 and the continuation of the searching for more fish, all those bills going to come back into pan number 3. So bills keep expanding while the fisherman spreading out. Remember, there's only 10 section of fish pan you got, and there's only 10 oil fields ExxonMobil got out there for now. Remember? Good. So what becomes of your share from the first pan of fish? It keeps getting smaller because you have more bills on your hand. Josh, you can never get the right kind of profit you're supposed to get from any fish pond. You know why? Because how they set it up and how they're doing the business. How Exxon craft the contract. Fish pan number 1 got to take care of its own cost, plus fish pan number 2 costs. No, man. Nobody. How that can happen? How can fish 1, Liza1 cost, accepts Liza2 cost? What will become of your profit there, man?
Dwindle.
Disappears.
Yes, it will dwindle to nothing. And that's the cycle from one pan to the next pan, from one oil field to the other oil field. That will forever keep you in debt and never see profits from your own fish pond. Eventually, when all the fish ponds are empty and the fisherman pack up with the boat, pick up his nets and leave, Josh, guess what? The bills are still left with you to pay. And if you can't pay them, your children, like I said, your grandchildren will be toiling in the sun, cutting cane, planting rice, cassava and banana to pay them. Josh, see that $25,000, you're smiling while you're collecting it? If Guyana doesn't fix this contract and get it right now, each one of you will owe them not 25,000 Guyana dollar what you collect, but 25 million US dollars when them done with Guyana. Like I said, it's not fiction I'm talking about. That is what Mr. Zanzilo's report means when he talked about lack of ring fencing provisions in the contract. Let me tell you again and again and again what ring fencing means. What that ring fencing provision that is missing in the contract that Jack Day and Harmon them not installing to safeguard and protect us. Let me tell you what it means again, Josh. It simply means to stop them from throwing one project cost onto the other. Liza means Liza1 must pay for itself.
Correct.
Liza2 must be for Liza2 itself. Liza3 cost must be Liza3 for itself. To number 10, all got to pay for itself so that your country can make real money. Don't rush into 3, into 4, into 5 and put the country under strain. Go slowly. Deal with one at a time. Fix them. Don't pump, baby, pump like what Jagdeo want. Or drill, baby, drill like what they're talking about. Take them fields one by one. We have the time to get it right. Liza4. Well, Liza1, 2, and 3, it can be corrected. Liza4, the yellowtail, should breaks up. Let us sort out this thing and get it right. Am I correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Anybody disagree with that, man?
No.
Let us fix Liza1, 2, and 3 before we move on, so that Guyana and the Guyanese people can really benefit from their God-given wealth. Let us fix all those oil, all those gold, diamond, bauxite, now manganese contracts. Why aren't we hearing anything? Why these things are not being fixed? Why can't we learn from Suriname, the country that has less than half of our population? Them got them own people, Josh. Them have their own people on every one of those drill ships searching for oil in the waters, so that no scampishness, no skullduggery, bills can't come for things that they didn't do or they didn't know about. They have people watching every single thing. Who Guyana got checking to see how much holes? Them really digging every day. We got anybody?
Nobody.
Eh? Not a single soul. But you know what, Josh? The bills in the billions keep coming in year after year on projects after projects. Yeah, man. This is one of the main reasons, the main thing Zanzilo pointed out to Guyana in its report. And that is only one loophole in the contract, Josh, where we're losing out billions on. There are thousands more loopholes in which we are being shafted every second of the day. But what are you hearing from your leaders?
Nothing.
What are they saying?
Nothing.
Not a single word you're hearing from these people. Not a press conference. Every moment they run go with a man named Critic for sit down like Momo Joe and talk a bunch of faff. I don't even listen. I don't even hear him because he doesn't have anything. He has an online, what do you call it, Facebook page? Yes. Your leader's talking to Facebook page now. Ashley Singh and sit down there yesterday with him. I listen a little piece, I get fed up, and I just couldn't find words to describe what I want to describe him, or to tell y'all how I felt about him. It's tiring sometimes. Remember Monday Josh, I talked about another report
Yeah.
by an international watchdog body,
Yeah.
the Natural Resources Governance Institute. You remember that, man? The people say almost three-quarter of the contracts, the oil contracts them review between oil companies and suppliers, like them same drill ships, the contract them got massive corruption in which a country can lose their shot and pans down to the underwear if they don't keep all four their eyes on what's taking place. Suriname got them own people on every one of those drill ships. Remember I told you that? Yes. Harman and Jagdeo them must got a jumbie watching out for us. There is lots more, Josh. But I don't want to hurt your soul or confuse your mind. It's a lot to grasp at one time. But give me a chance, let me tell you this last piece, and then I'll come off the radio. Liza1 setup costs, them tell us $3.5 billion. That money was for setting up the stage with the first floating ship. You remember?
Yeah.
Before them start pumping oil from Liza1 in 2019. We already had, you listen to me carefully, we already had over 8 billion US in bills just for searching for oil. And that is not the correct figure. The government either doesn't know, Ashley Singh and Jagdeo them doesn't know, or they're hiding the true figures from us. It was under coalition government. Either Harman and Trackman them know, and them also hiding the figures from us. But none of us know the figures. That 8 billion figure I give you there is what the oil experts them calculate and put in their reports due to the money Guyana get, Exxon get, and what is to be taken out. That's how the people know. Liza2, listen to this one now. Liza2. Liza1 cost how much? 3.5 billion?
Yeah.
Left out the 8 billion searching, what they were searching for oil. Liza2, the second floating ship, little bit bigger, but the bill is not a little bit bigger. This one is almost double. The stage and the ship for this one, Josh, is $6 billion US. Bringing up about the same amount of oil daily. You see how the price jump up there? Liza3, the Payara, that one is the same size like Liza2, which is $6 billion. Them give us a bill for $9 billion US. Liza1, 2. Liza1 is 3.5. Liza2 is $6 billion. Liza3 is $9 billion. Liza4 now. What I plan to bring, Josh? The yellowtail. That one gonna be 12 and more billion, because that is the trend. Every one of them is 3 billion more. And all of them, all the stage is the same thing, just the boat little bigger. All of them doing the same thing. It's just that one pulling up a little more oil when the day comes. But your bills, Josh, yes, your bill, Miss Harris, keep jumping up in the billions. Man, I can't wait to see the bills Suriname will get for each one of their projects. are praying for Suriname get going with a forced oil well so we can compare. We can compare ExxonMobil costs to their costs. I am going to bet any one of you in this room that you will see Suriname costs will be less than half of what these people throwing at us. Then, when that happens, what will happen to Guyana, Josh? You know what will happen? You will still have to pay those costs because you're busy running ahead, allowing them to go ahead from one project to the next project to the next project to the next project, and collecting, accepting those inflated bills in the billions. You guys remember, man, I done show you the cost was Suriname paying for them supply boat. $12,000 a day. You remember how much Guyana paying? 55,000 US dollar a day. Work or no work. I tell you all about the monthly cost for them helicopter service. Is between 500 and 700,000 US dollars a month. I am certain that figure we pay will be 4 or maybe 10 times higher than Suriname. Is either Jagdeo them and Harman them hiding those figures from us, or they're not getting it from ExxonMobil. So I would patiently wait to see Suriname force contract, and I am patiently waiting to see the helicopter costs. Let me go off. But let me just end by saying, the Surinamese president, Josh, this one is sweet. This is the sweetest part. The Surinamese president, Mr. Santoki, yesterday landed in Guyana for a state visit with a planned agenda. These things don't happen overnight, you know, Josh. Oil was on the agenda. The whole world knows Guyana got a lopsided deal, a robbing deal, a deal in which God left Guyanese people to suffer. That gentleman came here to give advice, talk about working together as two neighbors, helping each other to get the best out of our resources we share. Suriname got a beautiful deal with their oil contract. Listen what they get. Let me repeat what they get. They get 36% taxes. Guyana gets no taxes. Them get 6.25% royalty. We get less than 2% royalty. Them also have 50-50 profit sharing, just like Guyana. With all of that, Suriname also have 20% ownership in the field, in the oil field. What Guyana got? Yes. Guyana got 20% ownership in the airport and the Skeldon plant. And now the dead donkey, the hydro and the gas to shore projects. That is where your leaders have 20% in. Josh, this president, Santoki, come here in the rain to sit with our team, the people in charge of the oil sector, to help us, to work with us, to tell us where we're going wrong and how we can correct what we did wrong. And guess what, Guyana? Now I'm telling you, Guyana, I ain't telling Josh. The vice president and the entire oil team choose to left Guyana, left this country, abandon that man for sit down in Texas with those gangsters. Are you listening to me, man?
Yes.
President Santoki came here to talk about oil, and every single one of our oil people in Texas, the vice president in charge of the oil sector, Mr. Bharat Jagdeo, the natural resources minister Vikram Bharat, the foreign affairs minister Todd, one of the public works minister Deo Ratindar, Winston Brassington, the man who heading the gas to shore project, the oil advisor Bobby Gosai Jr., and others working in we oil sector, abandoned the president of Suriname. ExxonMobil meeting was more important than a brother who can teach us how to get things right in this country. President Santoki came here to make sure that a repeat of what happened in the 60s don't happen 30 years from now when our oil is finished. For those young people who don't know or who don't like to read history, let me tell you, the entire Kaieteur in Suriname is Guyanese. Most of them run away during the time when bread and roti was a luxury that you could have got to jail for. Things were that bad in the country, and the way we are dealing with these international gangsters in our gold, our diamond, bauxite, timber, now oil. This man seeing that this time around, the whole Guyana might end up in Suriname. That's the reason he's here. He wants us not to only help ourselves, but to help himself and his people. Yes, 30 years from now, when everything will disappear from here, we're going to be a burden to Suriname and its people. And he doesn't want that. That is why he came here to help us. Instead, we leaders abandoned the president. This is not fiction, I'm telling you guys. Mr. Santoki, President Santoki, me and my staff, not just Josh and Miss Harris alone, we sincerely apologize for the lack of foresight in our leaders, the disrespect that they have shown you. I sincerely apologize and wish you and your team a bright stay. You're free to come at the Kaieteur News and let's have a vodka and coconut water. But I hear you like 15-year-old. I don't mind switching. It's the least I can do for having you, making you comfortable. That's the least I can do. Also, for our leaders wasting your time coming here. God bless you, Josh. God bless you, Miss Harris, Raj, Mr. Williams. Thank you. I am done. Can I take the telephone calls if you have any quickly?
Yes, we can take telephone calls. 226-7453 and 226-7454. Those are the numbers you can call us on this evening.
That man came here and they choose to run behind ExxonMobil. Joshua, you want to hear what they discussed? What they discussed there?
Yeah.
I was listening to a little piece of tape. And it is so saddening. Jagdeo talk over an hour on climate change. You believe this thing?
I know.
Climate change.
Yeah.
Man, it is sad.
It is.
It is really sad.
And While you
Which
were
is really
talking,
sad.
I got a question here from
Yeah.
someone that says, Mr. Lal, I saw in a section of the media, and the headline is titled, Guyana seeks higher royalties and revamped terms for new oil contract. What does this mean?
Guyana see
Guyana seeks higher royalties and revamped terms for new oil contracts. What does this mean? This is coming from this.
yes, I think Jagdeo talked about that today. I saw it on a Writers News Agency website.
Yeah.
Oh my! It's the same song he been singing. He seek higher royalties and better terms and conditions. Guess who? Guess who? For the other oil blocks, not
Not the Exxon.
not from ExxonMobil.
Wow.
ExxonMobil billions, you don't have nothing to get there. ExxonMobil tuna fish. Guyana can't eat that. He taking you to go eat in the small pond that has the cackabelly. You know the cackabelly fish? That is the fish where he plan to bring to Guyana for eat. He is not going to renegotiate the Exxon contract. The big oil block. The biggest. That has more than half the oil. I think that has more than 3/4 of the oil. But he's not going there. It is so sad.
It is. I saw this
so
other
sad.
question here that says, Mr. Lal, you're saying that our leaders give ExxonMobil the okay to deduct from the earnings of Liza1 the costs they're incurring from the other projects, which is Liza2 and 3, and go on and on?
Josh, I am not saying that. That is what is going on. And we didn't even know that. Is the analysis done by the international experts is now telling us that. We leaders not telling us nothing. So let me ask you, who allows a man to come and pick your mangoes from one tree to pay the expenses on another tree he's setting up? Josh? Only a moron would do something like that. You have to get your fair share from every mango tree. Plus, here what is going on, Josh. Them taking out money for search for more mango trees. And if they find mango tree in the field or not, you still paying them for all the clearance they were doing in the field, looking for mango. Looking for more mango tree. That is business, right, Jack? Yeah, man, that is the business.
We have a question.
There's a set. Yes, go ahead, man.
It says, so is it fair to say that as long as Exxon keeps searching, we will keep adding to our debts?
Exactly. They come and they continue to search. They have been drilling every day in this land. Right? And when they find, they cark it. Then leave it. If they don't find, they cark it. But all those are hundreds upon hundreds of millions of US dollars. Each hole they dig. So they keep digging all the time, searching. Right? And our leader ain't putting nobody to see,
Yeah.
right? What they're digging from what not they're digging. So they can say they dig 4 holes
Yeah.
in 1 month and hand you $400 million US when they dig nothing.
Yeah.
You understand? Now these are things we have to stop. We have to stop because it pays them to continue digging, and the report said so. You understand? Because if you keep digging with these type of bills and throw it on the fields that is producing the oil, then you're being jitted, you're being shafted.
Yeah.
Every 100 million they throw on Liza1, that has to be paid. You understand? And then when they start setting up Liza2, every money they spend, like they spend $6 billion on Liza2, Okay? That's $6 million. They throw it on Liza1. So Liza1 got the 3.5 plus the 6 plus searching costs. So what you getting from the mango tree? Basically nothing. The crumbs.
Yeah.
And let me go a little further. As the year goes by, well, of course they're not taking out all. You need to understand this, they're not taking out all. If they take out all, then Guyana has nothing to get. Because Guyana will be working for nothing.
Yeah.
Right? So what they do, they have a cap how much they can take out. So out of the 3.5 and the 6 will come, plus the other searching costs, let's say they come $12 billion. 75% of that comes out from the oil that comes up every year. So that 25% is profit. Share between two. 12 and a half and 12 and a half.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then that moves on year after year. So when you're done finish from this mango tree, and you got billions left on this mango tree, they throw over that on the second mango tree. So the second mango tree you start picking from the second mango tree, that cost comes over there. And the cost from the third mango tree kicks in back to the second mango tree. So it's all added up to the second mango tree. And they still continue drilling all the time, bringing in all those 100 millions every month, every couple of months onto the second mango tree. And the same thing continues. 75% of the oil produced when the year comes, they take out. Right? So each mango tree still have billions owing there. And it keep transferring from one mango tree to the next mango tree, to the next mango tree, to the next mango tree. So at the end of the 10th mango tree, you have bills that will come out from mango tree 9 into mango tree 10. So what will happen? When they finish with number 10, and let's say they call it a day, right? Number 10 will not be able to pay all the bills coming from 1, 2, 3 to 9. So this is how countries now left with huge debts
Yes.
and can't pay them, can't pay. So over a lifetime, countries working to pay them. You can just Google all these things, it's there. So this is why the reporter is saying, put in the ring fencing provision to avoid them bringing costs from mango tree 2 to mango tree 1. Let them go slowly, what mango tree brings up, take out your little cost from that one and share your 50-50. Right? Like each mango tree takes care of its own expenses and pay both parties. That is how simple this thing is. Right? And we have been talking about ring fencing for the last 6 years in this country with the coalition and the new government. And nothing, you keep hearing about it. And this thing keep going on and going on and going on. You know, it makes me want to ask this question to many of them, if not all of them, directly to Mr. Jagdeo and Mr. Harmon. I want to ask them, what are they getting personally from these oil companies that they don't want to renegotiate this oil contract? May I ask you guys to answer that question? Tell the nation that, please.
Good night,
All right.
everyone.
Good night.
Mr. Lal, how
Yes.
can we stop this from happening?
I answer that. We can stop it if our leaders are serious. If our leaders really love this country. If they really love generations to come. That's the only way we can stop it. It's not that they're stupid or they're dotish. They understand what is going on, man. It is as simple as 10 mango tree. Okay? How can you not understand something so goddamn simple?
Yeah.
Huh? Huh?
True.
Hence, I keep asking the question, what are they getting personally from this thing.
Also, one more question. You told us about the billions of US dollars that we have to repay ExxonMobil for our expenses. How can we see those bills to verify what ExxonMobil
That's a
is
beautiful
spending on?
question
It's
you're
true.
asking. That's a beautiful
Because
question.
ExxonMobil have a track record of being very scampish and shady. So we want to know. We just don't want people spending our wealth like that.
ExxonMobil isn't scampish. ExxonMobil are angels, but they're gangsters for angels.
There's the fallen angels.
They have gangstered many countries they've been. Understand what I'm saying? But the bills you talk about, that is very, very, very important. The Liza1 bill, the 3.5 billion, we really didn't get a breakdown of what that is. All we were told, the FPSO costs $700 and something million. Liza 2 FPSO jumped to 1.2 billion, and Liza 3 FPSO I think ran close to 2 billion. Other than that, the breakdown of those costs, Guyana never see nothing. The 8 billion prior to 2019 when they were searching for oils, we didn't see those bills. We don't even know what it is for. You understand? Yeah. So all this Payara 9 billion, until now we don't know what it is. You know who see it? A Canadian woman see it. Yes, they bring a Canadian woman to review and to verify and to check that for Guyana. They didn't see to put Guyanese to see, to understand, to know, or to verify. They bring a Canadian woman.
Or even to train people to do so.
Exactly. And she done in 6 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And she have never done one like a field development review in her life. You understand? It's like you give a baby, you care for drive. A 2-year-old baby, you care for drive. That's what Guyana did. That's what Mr. Vice President Jagdeo did with her.
Nonsense, man.
Yes.
Wow.
I'll go to my grave with the names. Alison Redford. Wow. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
As we're talking about debts, I want us to really think clearly about Guyana's national debt, the debt that we have as a country, the whole debt, not part of it, but the entire thing. As of 2019, our debt was 2 point some billion US dollars. But we've been in this oil venture for about 6 years now, and we've already seen the costs that is adding up. So if we look at it by numbers, we've already reached 20 billion. Already, that's our actual debt. Now compare us to Trinidad. Trinidad has been doing oil for about 100 years.
100 years.
They actually have a bill for $22 billion. Their debt is $22 billion. We've been doing oil just for 6 years, and we already reached 20 or probably past 20 billion already. You understand? And all of this debt is pegged on what is going to happen in the future, how much oil and profits we're going to get in the future. The trouble with that is, as what happened in Nigeria when oil prices drop, it has a severe impact on the country. So if we're saying that we're incurring all of this debt based on the fact that oil price is going to remain stable going forward, then we might find ourselves in a very precarious situation.
That's a beautiful thing about.
The oil price drops. When we won't be able to pay our debt, we'll have to default.
If the oil price drop to nothing, it means we will get nothing, because the oil will be working to pay those fat bills that Guyana has. The $20 billion. Trust me, oil gotta work it out. If Guyana gets nothing, the oil has to pay that bill for us. Now, what kind of business this is, man? That's a very serious point you raised there, you know. Because remember, you already have $20 billion. More than 20 we have. Okay? Sitting on Guyana. Oil price drops. You hear me? You get nothing. You basically get nothing. We are getting nothing right now. We are getting nothing right now. And because $300 something million is nothing.
Correct.
Nothing. That's not even a third of we 2021 budget. So basically it's nothing. They can't, Jagger himself said I can't even build a bridge for we. And we already got two point something $billion US debt. So we will find ourselves giving away our oil to pay the debts what those people throwing on us through bills that we are not checking. Yeah.
Caller, good evening to you. Welcome to the Glen Lal Show.
Yes, I'm trying to understand something.
Yes.
Can I talk to Mr. Lal?
Speaking. Go ahead.
Right ahead.
Yes. I am wondering to know. Suppose you will come with a dry well. Would the cost from one well to the next well go into the dry well?
Yes, sir. Yes, every well that they drill, whether they find or they don't find, has the same cost. It's over 100 million American dollars, every one.
Well,
So
that's what I'm wanting to know. Well, that will make it very bad for us then.
exactly,
If that's how it's going to be.
exactly.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks. I am trying to get the cost of how much Suriname is paying for their oil wells, but Suriname is not paying those costs. That's not in the contract. The oil companies has to bear that cost by themselves, but Guyana sign on to pay to absorb all those costs, and we are not even checking it. We are not even finding out what's the real cost on one of those wells. CGX, another oil company, came up with one earlier this year or last year, and they said that one is 155 million American dollars. So like it pays for these people go and drill. Whether you find or you don't find, you just hand Guyana 155 million US. All of us can go out there and only drill one and come back and say, well, hey, we ain't get nothing. And collect 155 million from the Guyana, from Guyana's treasury or Guyana's oil. Yeah.
Yeah, today I read one of the most vexing statements by the Vice President.
Yep.
He was asked by the Baker Institute a couple of questions, and he went on to say that he does not classify Guyana as a wealthy country, noting that it will take years before Guyanese start to see the benefits from oil resources. My question to Mr. Jagdeo tonight would be, are we doing oil in Guyana, yes or no? And if we're pumping oil, we're bringing up oil and we're selling oil, then why is it that Guyanese can't start seeing immediate benefits? Yeah? And this
I could answer that for you.
This question is was so vexing to me because here it is that all these foreign companies and contractors are benefiting, but the average Guyanese cannot benefit. And the Vice President, the man who is in charge of the oil sector, is saying that it will take years before we start to see any real benefits. And he does not classify Guyana as a wealthy nation. You know, it's really, really vexing.
He cannot classify Guyana as a wealthy nation because he know what they would have done and what they continue to do with these oil players. But the world is not describing Guyana as that. The world is describing Guyana as one of the fastest growing economy in the world. It is. But is Guyana getting the money?
Well, that's the thing.
And that is what Mr. Jagdeo, these financial gurus, and Ashley Singh them, they're the financial gurus, and Winston Jordan too, should tell this nation what is there for us. Yes, we are producing, but producing for who?
That's the point.
Who is eating? Like I said, they're eating the tuna, and the caca belly is left here for y'all.
Not me. I have a question here. The oil sector is in structural decline, and financial experts are warning that a recession is coming. Now, looking at the past recession that we had, I think it was in 2008, 2009, there was a lot of volatility in terms of the commodities in the market, and that was especially so for oil. So bearing that in mind, they're saying that this coming recession is going to be much worse. It looks like we're coming to a point where if that happens, we won't be able to foot the bill for the costs associated with drilling the oil.
Exactly.
So we'll have the commodity, but it'll be worthless.
Exactly.
But we still have those debts to deal with. So why are they not putting any kind of provisions in place to prevent something like that from happening?
You asking me such a tough question, dear Ms. Harris.
That was my question.
I
this time.
want the financial guru to answer those questions. He has economic degree. He's an economist. Taking all those things you just said into consideration, he should be the one to answer those questions. A financial collapse, what becomes of Guyana?
Yes. But
Right now, we have it, and the price is kind of up. But Guyana is still collapsed,
yeah,
and it's coming out of his mouth.
yep.
So when the real collapse comes, what will you just think about it in your mind? What will become of Guyana and its citizens? They will go back and plant rice and cane. Josh,
Yeah.
let's take a ordinary,
No problem.
right? Because they're telling me they have some show there.
Yes. Coming up
So
at 9
Josh,
o'clock.
it was a pleasure tonight.
It was indeed.
Yes, I enjoyed the program. I hope you enjoyed the program, Miss Harris. Gregory?
Yes, sir.
Sean?
Yes, sir.
Good. Mr. Williams, you did? Good.
I would like to ask a final question before you go.
Quickly.
Sir. I would like to know if the Guyanese people know the powers they have. I would like to know if the Guyanese people know the powers they have invested in them, with all the inaccuracies and all the things that our leaders are doing to us. I want to know if they know definitely the powers they have invested in them as a people.
I don't think they understand the power they have, Gregory. If they had understand the power, if they understand that the leaders are our servants, right? And stop looking at them as leaders. Look at them as your workers working for your best interests. Then you will be able to understand who you are as a citizen. The power you have within you. To shout and say, Minister, what are you doing with my life? With our children's future? Is these things what this man Glenn Lal talking is true? When you guys gonna fix it? But if a man doesn't know that his wealth in this country belongs to every one of us, not PPP, not PNC, not AFC, not Indian, African, American, all of us as Guyanese. If a man doesn't understand that, or the woman doesn't understand that, my friend, we are living in a sad state of affairs. Unless you get them to understand that, Gregory, they will not speak up. You understand? Unless we remove that mentality of bowing down, whenever you see a leader, and down your head, and treat them with that kind of love and respect. You understand? We wouldn't get by.
Isn't it us who put them there to serve us, sir? Isn't that who go? But that's why we go to the polls to elect them, sir.
Yes, but you elect them. You elect them, and everybody have a right to elect who they want. You understand? That's a different situation. We're talking about when you elect them, whatever they're elected governments, right? They're elected leaders. Like I said, which night, the opposition leader has an elected office, a constitutional office that has tremendous power. Is he doing anything?
Nothing.
Is he saying anything? Look, this oil team come from Suriname, and this oil team gone away. Is he going to say anything about it? No, they are not going to say anything about it. They tells you whose interest they're looking out for, right? Exxon tell him leave Santoki here, and they gone behind Exxon for sit down and maybe wine and dine. They don't want Mr. Santoki here to educate them, to put little sense in their head. So Exxon say, hey, come on, we have this conference, let's go. It's more important, it's your country. You understand? So they left and go. And our people, they're going to come back. I don't think he would even hold a press conference. As a matter of fact, he didn't even invite the press to go there to hear what is being transpired there with our resources. That's the kind of respect these people have for y'all. And unless you guys start thinking like a Glenlal, you know, and talk like Glenlal, this country is not going to get better. I know I'm going to speak for myself, right? I know when I watch them in the face, I see what I see. I watch one of them in the face Sunday at Barbies. Shame for shake my hand. Dung face. You know, corruption is something. Corruption can't change. You just spot it in people's face. Shame, you just see it in them. You understand? He walked past me and he shake the man's hand next to me. Robert Posada talking about the same man who say he never meet the people. Never see them. Never know them. Can't remember the lawyer who signed on behalf of the people who get Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks. Yeah, down your head and shake the man's hand next to me. Yeah, man.
Thank you, sir.
Shame.
Thank you.
Yes. May God bless all of you. May God bless the studio too. Have a good night.
Good evening, everybody.
And thanks for staying and listening with me.